Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is another video brought to you by Ants Hood. And today's video is about my Camponotus singularis, my last chance to save them. Let me give you some background on these guys. So I originally bought them at AntCon this year, so about 5 months ago. I've never done a video on them because nothing's really happened on them, unless you've watched my live streams and I've talked about them a little bit on that. They've just literally stayed as is. When I first arrived, a couple of workers died. She did lay some eggs, but they didn't seem to look after the eggs, or the eggs died, or they ate them, and I'm starting to get a bit concerned. But let me show you what's going on with them, or what setup they were in. So this was the original setup. They're in a Wakooshi nest with a little outworld, not much activity from them at all. And if we get the macro shot on them and have a quick look, is like I said, they've been like this pretty much since I got them, after a couple of workers died when they first arrived. Not unusual, to be fair. So I was very concerned about them, and if you look, there's nothing there. But what I did notice later on, which you can just see in this video here, there is some eggs there, but we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. And yeah, nothing. They very rarely go out in the outworlds. They obviously feed because they do produce eggs and stuff like that. So they do feed, and they do cut around the outworld somewhat. These ants are nocturnal, so they're not very active in good light. They're not very active in well-lit areas. So, but saying that, they're on a shelf. There's no direct light on them or anything like that, but just not very active at all. If the queen's not laying eggs, she's probably not happy in the setup she's in, or the workers aren't very happy because they're not very active. So I decided that I'd do a little bit of research and see what other people say about them. And a lot of people say a naturalistic setup is the way to go with these. But I don't have a naturalistic setup, or do I? So if you guys cast your minds back to way back when I first got my Polyrachus, I moved them into this terrarium. Those Polyrachus died. I moved some more into there, and they got finished off by my Massescaper Solenopsis. And at the moment, it's doing nothing but really looking after springtails and what are they called? Wood lice, that's the word I was looking for. So as a last-ditched effort, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to use this, but I need to do some modification to it. So as you can see, it's very shallow because Polyrachus climb and they build their nests above ground. So I'm going to have to like shore it up and make the back a lot deeper so they've got something to dig in. And that's what I'm using here is cork bark, because it doesn't rot and go funky, to make a bit of a wall kind of thing. And then I can fill up the back level with all of the soil and stuff that they can live in. Now I've made the soil out of a mixture of crunched up dried leaves and cocoa fibre, and I think I've chucked some other bits in there as well just to build up the layers in there too. But don't forget, I've also been using this as a dumping ground for my leftover fungus from my leaf cutters as well, so the soil's pretty rich. What I'm also doing here is cleaning down the sides because the walls are pretty dirty. I'll just use water, cotton wool, and also to clean off the old barrier so I can apply some new stuff and get some decent pictures in there hopefully. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Like I said, I've literally left this, kept it alive, fed it and stuff like that, just to keep the bioactiveness going on, but I've really not done anything with it since my last Polyrachus died in here. So I think it's good that I'm repurposing it, and that barrier is on hard as well because it's been left there for so long. It took quite a while to clean, to be honest. Front of it as well, just to build up the front a little bit because the soil got quite compacted over time. I mean, bearing in mind this terrarium is probably about 2 years old and I've just let it be. So I do build up the back and I build up a little bit at the front, but I'm pretty pleased with the end results, to be fair. I don't think it's too bad. That bit of bark that's sticking up, I quite liked it there, and I just buried it a bit, to be honest, because it's a bit of another feature and it also kind of like makes them go round. What I do need to put in here is some rocks, but I still haven't done that, and I filmed this quite a while ago now, to be honest. I then finish off by compacting down the soil so it's nice and compact and not loose, so when they dig into it, it doesn't collapse in on them. And then I water it down just to get some humidity in there as well, but also that the water helped compact it down somewhat as well. If you noticed, I've also squirted the walls as well because there was some leftover soil on there. It's just cleaning it off, and that's what I'm doing here. Now, when I do this, I don't normally use tap water for my ants. I generally use mineral water. But for this, I've just used tap water because I'm chucking loads in there, and it's not going to majorly affect the ants because they're not the ones that are going to be drinking this. Well, I don't think they will be anyway. Once I was happy, I let it settle for a while, let the little critters dig the way out of the... I buried them in there, like the springtails and stuff like that. And then I leave it to settle for a while, just so the soil, because I had a chance to compress down again before I put the ants in there. So, putting the ants in. So, yeah, I'll just get on with it. So what I did is I put the Venus nest directly into the outworld, as you can see here, and I took the end cap off. As you can see, as I take the cap off, it doesn't take long for the first workers to pop out and explore. And if you notice, there's a little black tape with a red filter on it. I've actually dug a little bit down in there to allow them, well, and I put the opening straight to it so they can go out there and start digging straight away. Now, I assumed that as soon as the workers came out, they'll find that, you know what, this is a bit more natural to what we used to, and we'll move out. Yeah, that's definitely not the case. It has been about 3 weeks and these guys still haven't moved yet. They're still in the test tube. They're still just like they are here. Now, I've even put some different ants in there as well. My Tylanus or something like that, because they were dying off in the test tube and they weren't doing anything. And to tell you the truth, I didn't really pay much mind, so I thought I'll put them in here. They can feed when I feed these guys and they can hopefully grow and do well that way. They literally moved out overnight. These guys 3 weeks down the line and they're still in this situation. So I don't know what to do. I don't like forcing moves. I have kept light on it. I've turned light off because they're nocturnal. I have, excuse me, I have done everything shy of taking the test tubes out of the Venus setup and forcing them out. And even then, I still don't think they'll come out of the test tubes. Compared to the new colony that I've got of these guys are just so inactive. They don't really do anything, where the other colony I've got, they're always in the outworld, they're always feeding, and they've got a nice healthy pile of brood. These guys, on the other hand, this is the only time I've actually seen them come out of the nest area. Other than that, they just stay in there. My Tylanus, I've seen them even go into the this Venus setup while they're in there, get a warning to go away, and then they moved off. But these guys just don't want to move out, and I don't know why. When I first put them in as well, as you can see from this video, I actually could see some eggs as well that that she'd laid, but no larvae again. They're just eggs, and they're not developing. I don't think these eggs are here anymore. I think they've already eaten them. So my options are leave them as they are and let them move of their own accord. Take them out of the Venus setup and just leave them on the test tube, see if they move out. Or empty the test tubes out into the outworld and force them to move into the terrarium. I'm really up for suggestions here, guys. Please let me know what you think, because your opinions would be gratefully appreciated. Forcing moves isn't normally something I like to do, but I really don't feel like I've got a choice here. The test tube setup isn't working for them, they're not progressing. The only real option for me, I think, is a naturalistic setup, but they're not moving. So opinions really wanted from you guys. If you've got any opinions, advice, please give it, because I think I need it with these. What I will do, so we don't leave on a low, is I'll show you the new colonies going on. They're loads more active, they're loads more busy, and I'll stop talking and show you them now. So you can see from these guys, they are doing so much better. There is a lot bigger colony, a lot more workers, and they've got brood. They've got pupae there, as you can clearly see. And you know I love a macro shot, so let's get a macro shot on. As you can see, they're doing really well. I can't really say much more than that, to be fair. This video isn't about this colony, it's about the other colony, but they are doing well. There's loads of workers, they're really active. They actively hunt as well, which is great, which the other guys just don't seem to do. So, and I think I can't quite make out if what this ball of yellow is a pupae or larvae or anything like that, but there's definitely an egg there. I think the workers carried an egg anyway. So yeah, they're doing really well. The reason I got this colony is because Ant Antics heard my woes on my live stream about my other colony of these guys, so he kindly sent me these ones, which are doing a lot better and seem to be a lot more active. So thank you from Ant Antics from me on that one. It's appreciated, mate. Hopefully I won't get the same issues I had with the previous colony of these girls, and this colony does really well. Fingers crossed, because as you can see, they're gorgeous looking ants. The queen's gorgeous as well. So I really want to get a big colony of these, but only time will tell if either of them do any good. Hopefully these will be doing great. Well, that's it for today then, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I do owe you a big thank you for sticking around to the end. If you like it, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Names shooting up right now are my Patreon and YouTube supporters. By all means, if you want to join, I'll put a link in the description below. But for now, that's it from me. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye-bye for now.